It's been a bit more than 2 years now since we left our home in a very upsetting situation. And now we feel that it is time to come back.
Israelis who lived along the border with Gaza are slowly returning to their kibbutzim, the communities devastated by the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack. Last week, Israel lifted the state of emergency for communities around Gaza and stopped paying for evacuees' housing. While people are now allowed to return, apprehension remains widespread.
We come here still with a bit of anxiety towards the future.
These border communities, along with the nearby Nova Music Festival, were the main targets on October 7th. The neighborhoods were where dozens of the nearly 1,200 Israelis killed that day were murdered and where most of the 251 hostages were kidnapped. Even under the fragile ceasefire, residents say they need answers from the government before they can feel secure.
The one thing that's still missing for me is a state commission of inquiry that has not been established.
Many say the truce with Hamas and ongoing repatriation of the bodies of hostages gave them the confidence to return. Late Sunday, after the International Red Cross joined in search efforts in Gaza, Israeli officials received 3 more sets of remains. They've since been confirmed to be those of deceased Israeli hostages and have been identified. 8 of the 28 sets of remains expected under the terms of the ceasefire are still unaccounted for. In Gaza, medical teams are trying to support children traumatized by 2 years of conflict.
We aim to bring back these smiles to children. The need is big.
Clinics say they're overwhelmed with cases of anxiety, depression, and acute distress.
Among the symptoms we noticed are nail biting, difficulty paying attention, as well as serious fears, night terrors, and involuntary urination.
Aid groups warn that Gaza's children face a compound crisis with both psychological trauma and severe humanitarian needs. The ceasefire calls for 600 trucks of aid to enter Gaza per day, but according to the World Food Program, that number has not been met once since the ceasefire was signed on October the 10th. Now on Monday, ministers from 7 different countries met in Turkey to discuss stabilizing the truce and moving on into phase 2. U.S. President Trump's plan for an international force to keep the peace in Gaza dominated the conversation, with Qatar saying it is consulting with U.S. officials on what that might look like. For City News, I'm Karling Donoghue.